Let's take a few minutes to talk about the post-game of Pokémon HeartGold and SoulSilver. I made a video on the post-game of the original Gold and Silver recently, discussing how crazy it was at the time to have an entire other region squeezed into the games after finishing the main story. Of course, because of the hardware and memory limitations of the time, some corners had to be cut in places. It was still really impressive, but yeah, you could see where some things had to be sacrificed. So in the remakes of these games, I was very interested to see what this famous post-game came out like on a newer system. These remakes are actually like 15 years old now. It's been 15 years since we last went to Johto? Criminal. I was very late to the party, but I've played HeartGold SoulSilver a couple of times now, but I've never played through the Kanto post-game of them, until now. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's have a little natter about them. As I mentioned, corners had to be cut in the originals because of limited memory space. In fact, it was kind of an insane achievement at the time to even be able to fit Kanto into Pokemon Gold and Silver. This time around, those corners haven't had to be cut, and so neither have the trees of Viridian Forest. The forest is back in HeartGold SoulSilver, and it looks better than ever. That was the first major thing I noticed. Cinnabar Island has still been destroyed by the volcano, but you can explore the disaster zone a bit more now. That's cool. I'll be honest, I thought Fire Red Leaf Green was the best way to experience Kanto, and in terms of experiencing the story of Kanto, I still think it is, but for the experience of just running around Kanto, these games blow those out of the water. It looks so good. Locations like Pewter City and Vermilion City in particular really have their essence captured in these games. And that's a sizable achievement because Kanto is minimal. It's the most minimalistic region in the Pokemon world. And I like that rather than trying too hard to jazz it up, they've sort of gone the route of further modernising that simplistic charm. It's a good way to go. It's the smart way to go, I think. And Mount Silver looks awesome. You're actually visually climbing a mountain in these remakes, all the way to its snowy precipice, where you battle Red. And it feels like much more of an epic feat to get there. The atmosphere is a lot eerier at the top, and Red felt a lot harder to defeat this time around as well. I was very close to losing. I was spamming full restores like I never have before. The Kanto region looks great here, and I'll be honest, these games in general have really made me fall in love with the Gen 4 art style. There's something about it that hits a really nice middle ground between fleshing out the world, while still leaving enough gaps for my imagination to fill in. I'd love to know actually, would you guys take another pixel sprite game? Like if Pokemon just randomly decided, yeah, we're going to throw out another Pokemon game in the classic pixel sprite style. Would you be down for that? I think I would. I'd love to see what a newer game like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet would look like if they were condensed down to this style. The Kanto gyms in these games carry the same level of enhancement as the base game. They've been reimagined with new layouts and gym puzzles. The Viridian City one is very unforgiving if you make a wrong step. Blaine has an actual gym again now. I'm so happy for him. In the original Gold and Silver post-game, he was relegated to a very bare, very lonely looking cave in the Seafoam Islands. And that is still where he's located here, but the cave has been turned into a whole new gym for him. Justice has been served. Although I'd still love to see some sort of Cinnabar Island regeneration. Kind of a tall ask, but I think it'd be a fun idea. You can also rematch all the gym leaders in these games too. Not just the Kanto ones, but all of them. And they have much improved teams if you do. The gym leaders having different teams / differently leveled Pokemon depending on how far you've progressed in the game. Pretty sure there's a name for that. And that it could be a good idea to implement in future Pokemon base games. Just an idea, Game Freak, just something to think about. The chunks of story in Kanto largely remain the same in these remakes. They didn't really need to expand on anything too much in my opinion. This is all optional extra stuff after all. I think just the little extra features are enough to satiate the average player. It's really cool that you're able to get a Kanto starter from Professor Oak once you've beaten Red. And also, Hoenn's very own Steven Stone is here too. You originally encounter him as you leave the Pokemon fan club in Vermilion City, when you're retrieving the Clefairy doll for the Mimic Girl in Saffron. Then if you find him again in Silphco's reception area, he'll gift you a Hoenn starter of your choice. So you can add a couple of your favourite starter Pokemon to your team, and train them up for all the gym leaders and Elite Four rematches. I chose Bulbasaur and Torchic to complement my existing water starter. There's even more stuff locked behind events as well. The Celebi event gave a glimpse into Team Rocket's backstory, and canonizes Silver being Giovanni's son. Well, actually that was canonized in Fire Red Leaf Green, but this is the first time we see them interact, where it's clear that they're related. Speaking of Silver, there's one very important change they made to his character arc in these remakes compared to the originals. When you defeat him in Mount Moon, after that battle you can have rematches against him every Monday and Wednesday at the Pokémon League. But before you can do that in these remakes, you have to travel back over to the Dragon's Den in Blackthorn City, where you'll team up with Silver for a double battle against Claire and Lance. That was interesting. We actually end up teaming up with our rival for a battle in these remakes, and it's him who suggests it too. That's something I could never imagine happening in the originals, and it adds an extra dimension to Silver's character. It's a small detail, but it made a big impact on me. Also, there's a whole special event with Arceus too, which was a real brain melter, and demonstrates just how deep the underlying lore of the Pokemon world goes. Both the Arceus and Celebi events are locked behind special distributions though. Not that there's much to complain about there, considering the crazy amount of stuff there is to do even without them. Oh, actually, does the Team Rocket grunt in the Cerulean Gym still say the line? Please tell me he still says the line. He does! Bye bye a go-go. This guy is my favourite character in all of the postgame. I love the idea of a Team Rocket grunt that barely speaks the native language going a bit rogue. He gets a bit more stage time in these remakes too, because we have to chase him up Nugget Bridge to get him to tell us where exactly he dropped the machine part in the gym. You know what, I hope he left Team Rocket after this. I hope he's off living his best life somewhere. Honestly, these games feel kind of endless. I've completed the main body of content in the base game and the post game, but there's so much more I could jump into if I wanted to. And if these games ever get ported up to a console like the Switch, where I can easily alternate between playing on my TV and handheld, I'm 100% sure I will sink an egregious amount of time into them. Pokémon HeartGold and SoulSilver are regarded by some as the ultimate Pokémon games, and looking at how much content is here, I get it. I wish newer Pokémon games had the kind of love and passion that has clearly gone into these titles, and maybe that will happen again in the future. I'm an optimist, against my better judgment. But as I said, I'd be more than happy if these games just got ports for a newer console. How about you guys? Do you have fond memories of HeartGold and SoulSilver's postgame? Did you sink an unholy amount of hours into them? Or did you find them kind of overwhelming, like an impossible mountain of content to climb? Whatever you think, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I'd be very keen to hear them. While you're down there, please do drop a like on the video. I notice a big difference when you guys do that. It just helps give the videos an extra little push. Subscribe for more Pokemon content. Join the Discord server if you'd like to join in the chat over there. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you all in the next one.